Sveiki, labą dieną, malonu būti čia. Manęs prašė šį pranešimą daryti anglų kalba. Tai, hello, it's good to be here. There is my business card on this page, and there are several things what I would like to mention. At first, I have nothing to hide from you. If you like to do that for the first time, to be live in eyes, don't do that for a long time this weekend. It can be harmful for your health. But anyway, that is very refreshing. And that piece of art, sculpture in eyes, was winning in one competition. So, I am a graduate of Kaunas University of Technology. I used to do research in computer vision and to lecture more time, for the longer period of time than I am in business right now. And being in business, it's not only doing routine works. It's about the vision, future, and looking for the ideas. There are two things listed on what I am passionate about, that is TED, which I attended about more than 10 conferences in Monterey, Long Beach, and Oxford. And that is amazing experience and education. And I met Richard Branson at one TED conference, and later on, last year, he invited me to join him with about 10 entrepreneurs to establish Carbon War Room. It's as we say, think tank and do tank based in Washington, D.C., and we are acting like catalyst to introduce new technologies into action where it is necessary to change a lot, and it is possible to change to save our resources, Earth, to lower CO2 emissions, and to have done that profitable with available technologies. There are some of my businesses listed related with electric vehicles, with logistics. 20 years ago, that was started from scratch in Lithuania, UPS, that is packages, documents, like Internet of Things, because everything is connected, moving, and trackable over the net. Globaltos is electronic commerce startups, and Alinta and Vision, it's computer vision projects. We have a very successful 3D scanning project together developed with a Delcam company in the UK, and our product, hardware and software, already bundled with a British product and sold over the world, mostly in the United States. So that is very short, or not very short introduction, but in the beginning, I would like to reflect to a couple things. As you note, speaking about after presentation, I had no choice to present other than Prezi. So that is the do-it-yourself, first time ever Prezi presentation, done mostly with the help of my son, who is digital native. Myself, I am pre-digital, what was talked about by Wired editor. After that talk, I picked the Wired magazine. They sometimes published on the cover page some pre-digital people as well. So the roller coaster ride from that Macintosh in 1984, which was amazing experience to hack the hardware exactly in 1984 in Vilnius. First Macintosh with 128 kilobytes of memory technology, which was forbidden to bring to across the Iron Curtain to Lithuania, to Vilnius. And I have a challenge to fix it because it was the first switching in. It was broken by the by the wrong adapter for the power. And these things with the already 500,000 times bigger memory are already outdated. So it's always a big challenge to survive that kind of changes. But we need to select what is really important happening. And after some time, after 20 or so years, we are very good to commemorate what was done very well, very important. We are very good in remembering dates and commemorating dates, what happened like 20 years or 8 years or 600 years ago. But let's think about what is happening today, what we are doing today, right now, and what do we start today that will be remembered after 20 years? What we would like to tell to our children, grandchildren, and to gather after 20 years to talk about what we did today. Let's have a look at, That's about long news. Kirk Citron from TED Stage, short talk about what is really important.
We are drowning in news. Reuters alone puts out 3.5 million news stories a year. That's just one source. My question is, how many of those stories are actually going to matter in the long run? That's the idea behind The Long News. It's a project by the Long Now Foundation, which was founded by TEDsters, including Kevin Kelly and Stuart Brand. And what we're looking for is news stories that might still matter 50 or 100 or 10,000 years from now. And when you look at the news through that filter, a lot falls by the wayside. If you take the top stories from the AP this last year, is this going to matter in a decade? Or this? Or this? Really? Is this going to matter in 50 or 100 years? Okay, that was kind of cool. But the top story of this past year was the economy, and I'm just betting that sooner or later this particular recession is going to be old news. So what kind of stories might make a difference for the future? Well, let's take science. Someday, little robots will go through our bloodstreams fixing things. That someday's already here if you're a mouse. Some recent stories: nanobees zap tumors with real bee venom. They're sending genes into the brain. A robot they built that can crawl through the human body. What about resources? How are we going to feed 9 billion people? We're having trouble feeding 6 billion today. As we heard yesterday, there's over 1 billion people hungry. Britain will starve without genetically modified crops. Bill Gates, fortunately, has bet $1 billion on ag research. What about global politics? The world's going to be very different when and if China sets the agenda, and they may. They've overtaken the US as the world's biggest car market. They've overtaken Germany as the largest exporter. And they've started doing DNA tests on kids to choose their careers. We're finding all kinds of ways to push back the limits of what we know. Some recent discoveries: there's an ant colony from Argentina that has now spread to every continent but Antarctica. There's a self-directed robot scientist that's made a discovery. Soon, science may no longer need us. And life may no longer need us either. A microbe wakes up after 120,000 years. It seems that with or without us, life will go on. But my pick for the top long news story of this past year was this one: water found on the moon. It makes it a lot easier to put a colony up there. And if NASA doesn't do it, China might, or somebody in this room might write a big check. My point is this: in the long run, some news stories are more important than others.
What do you think is really important? What are long news happening today? Just think about the March 11th. After last Friday, the worldwide associations with the March 11th will be completely different after earthquake and tsunami in Japan. So think what is important or what will be important after 20 years, and just short glimpse what Bloomberg Business Week guess what are the businesses or professions in 20 years will emerge. And I would say that it's not so fantastic, because car charging stations are already produced or designed and in Lithuania as well, and worldwide. And there is a Lithuanian Space Association enthusiastically doing first nanosatellite project, first Lithuanian artificial satellite to be launched in next 10 or 20 months. So what we thought is not possible, becoming possible. And I liked very much the quote on the business card of Nicholas Zenstrom, who was one of the founders and developer of the Skype. And it says, investing in disruption. Disruption in Lithuanian language is not very good translation, I mean not positive translation, but disruption in that way, what Intel did to the digital or Skype did for the telecommunications, and a lot of these examples, internet and beyond internet, are great examples of the positive disruption from which we are benefiting, all of us. What we can invest into that, whatever we have, time and money, both are needed, and even more important, passion and believing into that what we can do. So if we do not see possibilities of the changes, which are right now very plenty of them, technologies coming in different areas to make disruptive changes. So if we will not invest into that, others will. And then we will be like that empty screen. What does it mean, ekranas? Anybody knows? Just raise your hand. That is ekranas, one of the biggest factories, enterprises in Lithuania, which was successful, more than 3,000 employee factory producing cathode ray tubes for TV sets, and they were not adapted to disruption brought rapidly with LCD. They were telling that they still have 10 or 15 years with their all outdated technology product. So 20 years ago, we were creating long news. And what we are doing today. Today we need to start creating new long news again. And that is not only internet, there is life beyond internet as well. How we can do that? Just screw it and let's do it. That simple book, but very sincere and easy, was written by Richard Branson, and it is translated in Lithuanian, and it's very much encouraging to do what you believe you can do. And what to do? It's like that motto last year, what the world needs now. It's real Facebook of the people doing that change. 2,000 TED attendees Facebook is incredible force, and I would compare that auditorium. Login is also incredible force with groups, and aligned action can change a lot, not only in Vilnius, not only in Lithuania, but to make these things what you need yourself, what you believe in yourself. It's probably would be useful in New Zealand or Seattle as well. I will give a couple examples. It's what I am passionate myself, where I see a lot of rapid and disruptive changes coming. It's not only areas where everybody should look into, but space and clean tech are very fascinating fields, and a lot of knowledge and experience got in IT, internet area helps a lot. 2 years ago, I found startup, not profit, open code, and what
my advice is to just, keep going. If you have a crazy idea, don't stop. It doesn't really matter if somebody tells you that it's not possible. And second of all, it's very important that you get yourself involved in something that's very difficult, because then you put pressure on yourself to come up with extremely innovative solutions and ideas. See, if you do something that you have done 100 times before, it doesn't really come any new or interesting out of that from that. But if you do something that you can feel in your stomach that this is a bit more than I can actually maybe really create or do, then you'll see you'll actually do it, because you'll pressure yourself. You give yourself that extra percent to come up with solutions.
These active, young, 2 Danish guys, they started space project in garage. So even space is not rocket science anymore. They do that amazingly low cost, getting volunteers, getting sponsors, and it's like national Danish space project. Due to 2 of them, Denmark would be the 4th country in the world who builds in country the spacecraft and launch into space the human being, their national, behind superpowers USA, Soviet Union or Russia, and China. Another exciting example is recent conference in October. It was Spaceport America opening in New Mexico. It was introduction of the Virgin Galactic spacecraft, first time landing in brand new spaceport runway. And New Mexico governor, he convinced people of New Mexico to vote themselves in referendum to raise taxes and to invest to build first intentionally built spaceport for the space tourism. New Mexico isn't a very rich state, but they vote for that and increased taxes themselves. Companies like Virgin Galactic and others committed to establish base here, and there are things like on the left side bottom, the Robert Bigelow. He has Bigelow Aerospace Company. The behind is the small models of the space stations, inflatable space stations, privately built and to be in orbit in 5 years. The man who was standing on the moon, one of the two first, was Aldrin, great space enthusiast. And in the top photo, that aircraft or space carrier, Spaceship 2, it is built by the company or designed by the company, which is only in the beginning was 30 people. Later, 50 people, scaled composites led by Bert Rutan in Mojave spaceport. That is amazingly that kind of revolution can be done with the groups, small or fraction of this group. People very much passionate in internet. Elon Musk, who did PayPal, Jeff Bezos, Amazon.com founder, they are doing their space projects. And clean tech, the same is happening as it was 20, 30 years ago with the IT revolution. It's coming to energy and other sectors. Just have a look. Companies which we already don't know, Digital Equipment Corporation, or it became extinct when these young guys, nobody believed that they know IT or can act better than IBM. They made competition to IBM, and IBM changed a lot since then, and everybody knows who are these guys right now. Right now, the maybe 10 times more at the stake is in the energy sector, infrastructure sector, clean tech sector. These things will change, and it's open. Who will be the changing factors, new companies, whom we are trying to find, encourage, and to be catalysts of that change with Carbon War Room. That was a recent conference in New York, Manhattan. We had a full-day invitation-only conference discussing about the clean tech evolution and trying to adopt these similarities, what happened in IT 20 years ago. Just have a look into Wired published scheme. People like Elon Musk investing in clean tech, transportation, electric vehicles, or Bill Gates in new energy sector, and so on. So there are a lot of things to do, but authority, what we can do right now for the future of us, for our passion, the authority to decide is you. And I brought the box with encouragement to do something. There is simple instruction. Just do poking the box. It works. And this is box. Full of the gifts for the login attendees. Exactly the same gift what was given this year by Seth Godin and Amazon Domino project for every TED conference attendee in Long Beach. However, this box is not so wonderful to fit in 2,000 books. But there is a way to share books. It's only 1 hour reading, and you need to read it, sign up on bookcrossing.com using QR codes in the book, sign yourself that you read it, and pass to the next login or not login community member. I will ask my helpers to distribute these books effectively, and enjoy your reading. And this book is very good to say that you need to start things. You need not to start later. You need to start yourself right now. And just think what you are doing first time right now. Right now I am doing first time ever login presentation. So good luck, and if you will decide really to start something, just look into Facebook for the Startup Weekend Lithuania and join it with your ideas and team. Thank you very much. Any questions? There is some disruption in all. I am happy to make one. Everybody needs to have a photo with the book and commitment to share with your friends and colleagues. There are 42 books to share. Any questions?
Okay, I'll repeat it. A transistor and integrated circuit technologies are supposed to be the most important inventions in the 20th century. What inventions, in your opinion, will change the 21st century as much? Thank you.
There is no clear answer. I don't know exactly what is. I had amazing feeling to stand a few years ago at that stage, feeling the book, Gutenberg book, printed originally more than 600 years ago. And we discussed with the owner of that copy of book that it was technology the same for almost 600 years. And just right now, in about 10 years time frame, all majority paper-based books will be changed to the gadgets like that. So things are changing, and which is most important, it depends on you as well. What is most important for you? I just forgot to tell a little bit about the springboard, which is accelerator for which I am passionate about, and it is digital startups accelerator bootcamp based in Cambridge. We founded with the British colleagues quite recently. We got applications from all over the world, 230. We need to get down to 10, and 10 teams will start in May for 13 weeks to develop their projects in Cambridge. Just follow up springboard.com. Thank you.